My name is Don Lukart, and I want to propose an amusing new theory of consciousness, reality, viewpoint, and quantum space. I believe that we live in a multiverse made up of many quantum spaces. It's believed that in this multiverse, every time that we make a decision, go right, to go left, to do anything, that quantum space we occupy branches. I don't believe this to be true because of the enormous amount of energy that will be required to do that for every decision being made by everything. I believe our mind, not as Agatha Christie's Poirot says, the little gray cells, but our mind, our consciousness, our experience of reality exists attached to our brain and also attached to quantum space. I don't think that it's wholly contained by the brain because it can't contain that much, and so that's part of my theory here. If you're watching this, you ought to know about the duality of particles, photon, nuclei of an atom, and the slit experiments which show that it can act as either a particle or it can act as a wave. I'll try to put something in here for that, but you should know that already without my doing a lot of graphics here. Now, like I say, you know the slit experiment where a photon is observed, and it can be observed where it's a particle, it acts like a particle going through a single slit, very little scatter, and where it's going through two slits and it acts like a wave, and you have reinforcement of the wave pattern on the wall behind the slits. And if you observe which slit the photon goes through, then it acts like a particle. Okay, I don't believe that it changes. I believe that our observation is through a viewpoint into quantum space. Our mind is looking through quantum space because a photon is in quantum space. It exists in our reality of physical space, but it's mainly in quantum space. And our viewpoint is that if it acts like a particle, then it was a particle, and we're in a quantum space where it was created as a particle and it ends up as a particle. If during the wave function collapse, that our viewpoint it shows that it's a wave, then our viewpoint switches to a quantum space, which is, I think, identical, except that the photon was created as a wave. It's been a wave through the slits, and it's a wave when it hits the wall. I believe that's our viewpoint. There's also the spooky action at a distance. Two particles are created simultaneously, and they're created with right hand and left hand spin, the two entangled particles, spin being a characteristic of quantum elements. There's a law of conservation of spin. In other words, if you have a right hand spin and a left hand spin, entangled particles, and you change the right hand spin one to a left hand spin, and the other one changes at the exact same time, no matter how far away it is. You can send one out past the orbit of the moon and change the one that's here, and the other one changes also. We won't go into the mechanics of finding out how it does that, or that it does it. How it does it is the fact that our viewpoint is into a quantum space in which it's a right hand left hand pair. The one we keep here is right-handed. When we alter it and observe it to be a left hand spin and the other one is a right hand spin, then It's because our viewpoint changes in quantum space, from a space where it was right hand, left hand, to a space in which it was left hand, right hand. There is no spooky action at a distance. Einstein was correct. He didn't like that idea, even though he coined it, the phrase. And I believe that happens over and over, that the collapse of the wave function changes our viewpoint, or is it the point of change of our viewpoint? Whether it actually changes our viewpoint, I just know that the viewpoint changes. That's in my theory. I'm going to use Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's favorite phrase for Sherlock Holmes: when you've eliminated everything that's impossible, whatever's left, no matter how improbable, must be the truth. I believe that the truth is our viewpoint changes through the infinite spaghetti noodles, for lack of a better way of saying it. The infinity of all of the quantum spaces says that everything that has happened, can happen, or does happen, it already exists in one of the quantum spaces. We just look into that quantum space where what we're finding in our quote-unquote reality is what happens in that particular quantum space. So the viewpoint changes, not the physical particles, not the spooky action at a distance. So please comment.